guess. I don't know for sure.
I screwed up.
And I got a mom problem, so
You sent,
I must not have copied you on my mom problem. You got a mom problem. So how about you have him send his receipt, if he wants to send them via email, then we can do that. If he's not interested, then we'll reschedule ASAP.
But, I mean, it's probably not gonna be until the end of July at this point, because he leaves for vacation. It is what it is.
Yeah, can't anticipate the mom problem.
No.
and by the way, that was completely my fault. You sent it to me on the Wyomissing thing, and I didn't have it on my other email. And I didn't put it in my calendar, and
So should I start sending the calendar invites to the other one?
I'll let you both.
Belt and suspenders.
Kinda.
By the time I ordered new paints 4 months ago, by the time I go, I'm gonna get new ones.
Hey, everybody, while we're waiting, I have a little bit of, I think it's neat news. I had gotten a heads up the other day on a new resident at the Highlands. Before we lived in Richmond Township, who recently moved in there. 100 years old, maybe 101, in August. But he has agreed to be our grand marshal for the 4th of July parade. He was the tail gunner in a B-17 in Europe, 28 missions and lived. Amazing.
Lives and still living.
Yeah.
Yeah, as I said, I wouldn't take the long-term option.
Wow. The guys survived 28 missions, I take the long-term option.
You're right, you're probably right.
Right, his number's clearly not up.
Is he gonna be in a wool
Lost
uniform?
that number.
They bypassed him a couple times probably.
So is Mr. Boland going to escort him?
Who?
Mr. Boland? College kid.
Oh, yeah, actually, he is, he's,
He's really amazing.
after I got the heads up and we contacted him, he said he had been in touch with him. He's, frail, but mentally sharp and passionate.
I'm retiring on 43.
Yeah, what a story. Nailed it.
Hey, Chris.
Good afternoon.
But bring it.
How many of those?
20 again.
Survived?
Chris.
John, you're probably gonna
Probably someone who's trying to take him up to here.
You can get a call over
Fairly
there,
young,
meet them, see if it's fire
receive
marshal,
fee.
or their way to talk to them, about the fires or reduce
They can call me, so they may be calling us.
Just jump right back in and go back in.
Okay, it's 12:01, meeting of the Fire and Police Committee to order. Roll call, please.
Bill Jenks.
Here.
Fred Moble.
Here.
Ron Stanko.
Oh,
Fred Levering.
here.
And Steve Brunner.
Here.
Okay, we should have the fire chief at some point. He has a meeting with the State Police Fire Marshal's office regarding an investigation. So we'll move on to public comments. Are there any public comments? Nice chance. Okay, hearing none. Move on to Western Berks ambulance. Tony.
I'm used to being first. So you had our report back in June for the previous month. Sorry I was unable to attend that day. Totally forgot it was a Tuesday and did not sync to my calendar invite. But you have our report. We've been meeting with the municipalities up towards the west end of the county, Wilmelsdorf, Topahocken, Robsonia, and all those to get them to try and start coming on with the municipal membership and kind of forcing them to try and go on there, explain the EMS crisis, and we've had some good reception to it. Other than that, again, we're just trying to get staffing and work through our problems.
How was the presentation attendance down at Miller?
The day one was attended very well by a lot of dignitaries and representatives and the federal representatives. At nighttime, I think we got hosed with 422 being shut down. They had a big accident and shut down hosed to 422.
Which had a good attendance during the day. Great.
No, it's coming out. Hopefully, it's going out into circulation. But
Hey, anybody have any questions for Tony? Hearing none, thank you. We're going to zip right through this today. Okay, West Side Emergency Management, Tom is not here. We did have our quarterly meeting last Wednesday. Tom reported on a few things, but the major thing that has been implemented, and maybe John, you can chime in here, was Tom Boucher had a meeting with all the police chiefs and fire chiefs. How did that go, John?
It went well. He spoke about different pieces of equipment they have, some things that they can bring to bear if we had a situation. He said it's something that he'd like to start doing on maybe a quarterly basis, like some meetings, kind of a check-in type of thing, and see how things are going and how we're cooperating with each other with the different municipalities. So, progress there.
Good. Yeah, we had a meeting, actually Michelle was at it along with myself, you know, and we started saying, well, what do we expect of Tom to be doing for us if we don't talk to him? And we don't know what he does, and he doesn't know what we do, for the most part. So I said, we need to start getting a little bit more communications set up. And I think having these quarterly meetings, this was probably the big first step in it. You know, so I hope everybody can bring something to the table in those meetings, and you know, come up with a more collective working relationship.
might want to remind him to invite EMS. Must have missed the invite.
Well, that's true. You bring up a very good point there. Yeah, I will.
So when is the first meeting?
It just had.
Had it last Wednesday.
The first meeting from when
Oh, of the chief of the chiefs was last Wednesday also, wasn't it? 10:30 or something like that.
Was?
I think it was.
June 19th.
It was last week.
Yes, it was last week.
Yeah. So
Yeah, 19.
so that's about really of great importance that was discussed there. Since Ethan is not here right now, we're going to move on to the police department.
Good afternoon, everyone. I want to, first off, if I maybe get a little loud or I track off, I've been dealing with swimmers here all week.
Huh?
I'm taking drops. And this side is completely clogged. Every once in a while it opens and I hear, but right now it's shut. Everything's muffled. I know, exactly. So anyway, the first thing I wanted to talk about were the illegal ATVs. We spoke last month about adopting an ordinance. I said I was going to look into a few things. So a couple things. I've let the solicitor know that I did speak with Sergeant Vegas of the Reading Police Department. They do not have their own impound line, as I thought they did. They use a tow company. Now I asked them how that actually works, and how it works is it's just kind of happening. They're not reimbursing the tow company for any of the towing or storage. I've spoken with the tow company. They are not happy with that situation at all and are trying to work that out with the city, but it's been slow. It is Matos Towing. That's one of the approved tower companies that we have for the borough. I told him what we were looking at doing, and in what he told me, he does not want to get into that with us. But if we create this ordinance and we look to get them off the streets, that he would be amenable to if he would be allowed to sell it for scrap, if that could somehow, would that be
he's not gonna get what he would get for towing and storage, but he would be able to get something out of it as a recovery. So if we were to go forward with this ordinance, then I would say we probably wanna, because we have a couple of companies that are actually approved, we probably wanna stick to one, and we would write that ordinance in that way. Some other things that have come up is, at the last Chiefs of Police meeting last week, there was a discussion about this, and the Chief County Detective, Mike Dunbar, is trying to get a meeting scheduled with some area chiefs close to the city to try to come up with a common approach at dealing with these types of incidents, because the city's not the only one. We're seeing them spraying Muhlenberg, Cooper, Exeter, and we're all seeing it. So we're trying to come up with a way to combat this the same. So we might get something out of that too, that might go with this ordinance that we're looking at adopting. That meeting has not been scheduled as of yet. I got an email this morning saying they're still waiting to hear from one or two chiefs, so maybe by this afternoon I'll know, but we should have more information coming on that in the near future. Second, I wanted to just talk about police vehicles. The truck that I have scheduled is supposed to arrive. I received an email the other day saying it's finally in Wilmington. So hopefully it gets to New Holland here shortly, and we'll get it in place by mid-July is my hope. But we'll see how quickly it gets from Wilmington to here. I emailed him today, and I haven't heard anything back from the dealer. We have had two vehicles in the very recent past that were out for some warranty stuff. We got the one back, but the other is supposed to be out, or hopefully back by the end of the week, and that's a new engine. It's a newer car, and we got a lemon engine basically in it. So I'm bringing all this up because I heard him go, oh boy. I know that last year we said, like, if the budget works out, we can maybe get some stuff back in it that was kicked out. I am not asking for the car this year that was kicked out.
Okay,
but
good.
I will say
Hopefully
that
good start.
we're gonna start doing budget stuff soon, and I'm gonna, like I have done the last 2 years, is come forward and say, hey, can we put the orders in sooner rather than later? And I again will be asking for 2 cars. The car's the one thing that I've lost each budget, and I'm starting to see the effects of that. So I would ask that I did not come, remember, asking for extra stuff to be put back or anything like that. That perhaps when we get, I'm being a good boy. I'm not doing that. Is that when it comes down to consideration for the budget, that I'm starting to see not getting these cars replaced is starting to really affect us. So, and like I said, because it's taking. I put that order in September of last year, so we're looking at 10 months that we get these cars.
What happened to the vehicle that was rear-ended when the officer was in the back seat?
I'm sorry?
Didn't we have a vehicle which was rear-ended when an officer was in the back seat? Was that able to be fixed?
Yes.
Chief, what's the useful life of a patrol car?
Well,
Measured by miles or time?
no, it's going to be time, because what really kills us is the hours, and they idle because they have to run the computers, the radios, the cameras, and we have a few with LPRs. And if you shut everything down, it does a couple things. If you turn the engine off, it'll run the battery, and I kept going through batteries. I mean, we were like every 2 months we were changing some batteries. So it's killing our batteries. So we're letting them idle so that doesn't happen. And the other thing that we'll do then, it shuts everything down. And if they have to run out, then we don't have cameras up, which may miss something. Computers aren't up. It's just the amount of things that we have in the police vehicles today that we didn't have when I first started, it's a big difference. They just had to run the radio and the lights back in the day.
And the air conditioning, don't forget, Jack.
Well, Those have always been.
Jack Crawford at Keene Road. They
So-
always have the air conditioning on.
It is, for, the way I've done this, if you remember, I put that 5-year plan together. I've replaced now pretty much all the detective cars. That's gonna be one of the cars for next year though, to replace the last one. Sergeant's vehicles now, and then the traffic vehicle will become what is now our current expedition. That's a supervisor vehicle. Those vehicles will not get the miles. So I'll be looking after this next budget year for 25, 26 and on, it'll be for just patrol cars at that time. Because the supervisor cars won't get the mileage, the traffic car, the detective cars won't get the miles, so it'll be roughly every 2 years for a patrol car.
And those are the only ones that need to be running 24/7.
I'm sorry?
Patrol are the only ones that are running 24/7.
Yeah, I mean, the supervisor cars do as well when they're used, but I have it split out that I have 2 cars now dedicated to supervisors versus what we used to have as 1. And when it was just 1, that car ran nonstop. Or I'm putting 2 in a car now so that the car gets a break at some point. With patrol cars, we have 3 people in a car, so at some point it gets a break. But it, sometimes it's running for 48 hours, and they're running 2 days in a row with the 12-hour shifts. So, that's where it kills me.
Bikes, some bikes.
Yeah, I just made arrangements today, we're sending them out to get some maintenance on Friday on our bikes.
Is
I would have
there-
taken that opportunity to say Harley.
Yeah. I don't think anybody really rides motorcycle in our department anymore. Not too many people that have one.
I'm just kind of reaching here, John, because maybe it's probably been foiled, but are the same batteries used for the operation of the car?
It's one battery.
One, really?
Yeah, I've said that to Jake and.
They should be using
some
deep
Ford,
cycle
they-
batteries
that
for
Ford
everything
needs
else.
to come up with
Yeah.
with one of these vehicles that they have a second battery to run all this stuff.
Speaking of being an old general battery guy here, that's why I'm bringing that up, that why they don't have separate batteries for the accessories.
One battery.
Just so we're all on the same thing, ambulance has 2 and it's not any better.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. It's not any better.
And the last one I wanted to make mention of is on this coming Friday, our Officer Cooper Henry is in the academy. He is graduating Friday. We're going to be going to his graduation ceremonies at Alberta. The mayor's going to come with us, myself, Lieutenant, Sergeant Engelman, who's in charge of the field training officers, and then his primary officer, Brandon Morris, is going to attend that ceremony. So he starts with us then on Monday. He's going to be doing some range and less lethal and some other classroom type stuff with us, and he's going to study for his MOPEC exam. Tuesday's his exam. I'm confident he's going to pass that exam. And then he starts on the street. He'll be with Sergeant Engelman Wednesday.
Maybe we should start around.
Yeah, well, that's the way our academy is now. It's 6 months long, so we started the beginning of January, gets done right here at the end of June, and we started in July, so.
Time flies when you're having fun.
I'm sorry?
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah, it was quick. So, that's all I have, then, if anybody has any questions.
John, I have a question on this, the ATV disposal. Does the county have any interest in trying to facilitate this at all? And
Well, that's,
what I have in
maybe.
mind is, to do this forfeiture, there has to be a due process, hearing process. And we do have in another area, which is uniform construction code, which is building permit process. The county set up an appeals board, and we are one of the municipalities, and most municipalities in the county have participated in this countywide UCC appeals board process, which I think creates some consistency and efficiency. We rarely have any of these. I don't know if have have we had any,
We've had
Two.
reports of them, yes, we have not stopped any and taken custody of any.
No, he's talking about the
This
UCC, which
UCC.
we've
Oh,
had, I
I'm
think,
sorry.
2
It
or
doesn't
15
come up
years.
very often that we use that county board, but what I'm thinking is, it could be, if this is something that there are a number of municipalities that want to set up a program for forfeiture of these illegal ATVs, and the county maybe wants to facilitate that, I would be supportive of having a countywide ATV appeals board or forfeiture board or something like that, which parallels what the city is doing on its own, but would be a way for all these suburban municipalities to utilize a county coordinated forfeiture due process appeals board.
So part of the reason I don't know if it allows for this board to occur, or if we have to do it. There's a section in the vehicle code, I have it here, that actually talks about the forfeiture of these types of vehicles. And it is $72 something or other. 3722, off-road vehicles in urban municipalities. The problem with this section is that the legislature thought only cities of the first class, second class, and third class will have this issue. So they allow for those municipalities to actually do the forfeitures, and seizing and everything. The rest of us are supposed to not have this kind of problem, I suppose. So we can't really use this statute in the vehicle code in order to do it. And that's why I think we have to set it up on our own. So I don't know, like I said, when I have this meeting, I'll bring that up. I don't know if the county's gonna be interested in doing something like that, but we might have to do it each municipality on our own, or, like I said, that might be something, and if we have this meeting, I could mention, like, can we do this as a county-wide type thing? But I don't know how much appetite the county has for doing something.
All right,
We'll have
well,
to find out.
It may not be possible, but I would be supportive of trying to be as efficient with this as possible, and if the county is going to support it, I think it would be great if they could help us.
Right, okay.
Should we be asking our legislators to revise that
I
statute?
think so,
To allow us to do it?
Now that we have had a legislator's representative at some of the council meetings, this might be something to.
It seemed to be interesting for us.
I was gonna try to send an email to Senator Schlank and Yohani to see if maybe they could look at this.
Sounds
Do
like a good
something.
idea.
Have that Berks County, have that county.
Yeah,
As well.
either county or municipal, I mean, if we are authorized under that statute, there's nothing to prevent us from, doing it collectively. And maybe to address it both ways. I mean, I think that would be ideal, is if the legislation would allow us to act individually or collectively through the county, to handle the forfeiture process.
Is the actual procedure set forth in that?
It discusses going through the actual forfeiture act, which is in 5801. So
all the details are there, we just have to paste them into our rules.
right. And John Adams had talked about giving out a sample ordinance. I've received that sample. It's Reynolds, so we've already had it. He's not looking at anything different than what the city did.
Okay.
So we're just gonna hold off the orders until we see the statute.
Well, I think we should begin the process of putting it together. We may not have, I think we can do something tomorrow.
Okay.
It would be preferable if we had access to the same process that the cities.
Good luck with that.
So we'll consider or continue to produce our own and go from there. Standing good. Anything else? Any other questions for John? Or Hank? Or the mayor?
Great, thanks, I take
Police
one.
blotter referred to as suspicious death.
Great.
If
Thanks
it's
so much,
suspicious
everyone.
death, does that mean, think it might be a suicide or overdose or?
The blot, yes. We're not, the blotter is a general summary of what happened. It's not anything that's gonna be in depth and detail, so it'll be in their supplemental report, so it's a way to describe something other than that you know it's natural, it might be something that's not. That makes sense.
Anything else for John? Thank you, sir. We kind of stalled him as much as we can.
He, should be here in probably about 5 minutes.
Okay. Trying to think if there was anything under the report that we can. I guess the salary now is in place. Did that go before the June
Council meeting, yes.
council meeting? I forget, but-
The deputy chief position?
Yeah, so we're done with that.
Well, other than,
Advertise.
there's a motion to advertise the
Oh,
job. Once council approves the job description at the July 9th meeting, then moving forward with
then we
advertising.
can advertise it. Everything else pretty much is what he's been talking about.
So we have one person not accept the job offer.
Correct. Fortunately, the next person on the certified list did.
Take a brief recess.
Is there need for an executive session?
No?
And
We could recess but not adjourn until the chief arrives, if the committee wishes.
I'll entertain a motion to go to recess.
Make sure this is the one.
You wanna
Might
ask
be,
that?
no problem with vote, huh?
Yeah. Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we are in recess until the fire chief arrives. Please turn the camera off.
The month to date activity, there's been 133 runs for the month, 852 year to date. Out of those calls for the month, 77 have been in the borough, 56 have been mutual aid. There's been 28 QRS calls with 7 patient contacts, and total training has been 67 hours for the month. The average turnout time is 1 minute and 49 seconds with 4.5 people per call. You can look there, the 2023-24 section. You can see that we're still down about 6.5%. A lot of that has happened in that 39 two-box area, the North Park Road corridor. And some of that is because of inspections as well as some of the economic changes that have been happening here in the borough. From a fire loss perspective, you can see the incidents where we've had some damages to report listed there on the bottom. Most recent ones here in June, we've had 2 structure fire related incidents and a vehicle fire for right around $1,200 or $12,000 in loss. Staff activity, we resumed doing the wellness sessions, and we've got our 3 probationary firefighters working through the onboarding process right now with a tentative start date of July 22nd. To date, 377 inspections have been completed, and total training hours for the year is 686.25 hours.
Why do you think there's a significant increase in demand?
Significance in what?
Significant increase
In,
from 43 to 79.
I am not sure, but I can dig into that and find out.
If it were that important, would not.
Well, it's, the 39 4-box covers a large area. We've had a lot of automatic fire alarms out in that section that I know of, as well as we get a lot of accidents out in that area, Museum Road corridor as well. but I can find some more information out if you'd like.
That's good enough, thank you.
Okay.
I was asked, what percentage of total businesses have we inspected this year?
I don't have that off the top of my head, but I can pull that together and get that number for you. Add that here.
Whatever you get.
Yep.
Have our business inspections process been sort of coordinated with spring at this point? Are we doing this on our own?
We're doing it on our own craft.
Okay. So it's really a question, how many people do they have?
Right now, there's two of us that are doing them, myself and Glenn.
Oh, everything else is fine.
I've got a lot of stuff. But that's an important aspect of how we keep the borough safe, so, it has to be a priority.
What about the other guys? Are they?
The other guys have not started that yet, trying to refine how we're going to do that.
Oh.
Because the call volume is so great, I can't have them out inspecting the property and leave, because,
Yep.
we're making sure that we have property owners or somebody from the building representing them while they're there. All right,
Guys were sure busy yesterday for a Sunday.
yes. It's been a fairly busy month so far. Does anybody else have any other questions on the activity report that I can answer?
When you say structure fires and vehicle fires, are those in the borough?
Yes.
So the vehicle was a car that was owned by someone in the borough?
No, the
or just
vehicle
happened
happened in the borough.
Got it.
Yep. All right, so on the agenda there, I have Apparatus. We're working on developing the specifications for the engine and the ladder still. With the loss of Derek, firefighter Miller has taken over the lead on that Apparatus replacement committee. They're hoping to be able to have something together for the engine by August, if not September, and the ladder later on. Both are taking a little bit more time so that we can account for any additional growth of the department, as well as making sure as we get volunteer members on board that they have a seat on the Apparatus as well. So there's some changes to layouts that we're working on. The fire inspections, again, we have a lot of forward progress with that. I've been tracking how many I've been doing, as well as how many Glenn has been working on. So we're getting a little bit more caught up to where we were. There's still a bunch that are outstanding that we're working on scheduling. From an operational staffing standpoint, we've had a member return to light duty starting today. It's going to be helping out with the onboarding of our new probationary firefighters, as well as picking up inspections and pre-planning and working on the data migration to our new record management system, which we hope to have that up and running where we're all on our own by the end of July. The technician position, I still have one open spot as a technician, working on crafting some new wording to present to the Civil Service Rules, to the Civil Service Board, to change some of those rules and regulations, to hopefully get some more excitement in promoting and moving forward. Plan to present those to Civil Service and have them hopefully for the August F&P meeting. The entry level, we had 3 conditional offers went out. 1 was denied. I have 3 people moving forward in that process. Again, the tentative start date is the 22nd. And then yes.
The retroactive.
I'll make a motion to approve retroactively approving the offer letter sent to Harry Coon Jr.
Yes.
for the entry-level firefighter position.
Second.
Good motion second, all those in favor? Opposed? Ayes have it.
In this, in the packet, I had sent the organizational chart. Just wanted to kind of show where we're at as an organization, because one hasn't been developed in several years. So that accounts for the changes through the promotional processes that we've done so far this year, bringing on the 3 new firefighters. And on the red side there for C shift, you see that there's 5 red boxes there. I did not delete the technician spot. That's where I still have that vacancy. So hopefully with crafting the wording for civil service, we'll have somebody from inside the department promote to that position, which will equalize it before per shift. The left-hand side there, the community risk reduction captain and fire safety inspector, just food for thought looking down the road into the future to get us more on board with doing the inspections and doing what we can to gain those 5 bonus points that ISO provides, potentially building out some additional positions within the department. Are there any questions on that? Okay. And then the last thing I have is that I presented a draft the final draft to the Personnel Committee in their past meeting here in June about the Deputy Fire Chief's position. I'd like to respectfully make a motion to accept, table, or deny advertisement of that process to hire a Deputy Fire Chief.
Somebody wish to make that motion? We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? You guys have it. It's advertised.
Thank you very much. That's all I have. And again, my apologies for being late today for the meeting.
Last guy here buys the deal.
Anybody have any questions for the fire chief?
Chief, as you further settle into the position of someone, are you seeing anything that has come as a surprise that you need to address?
No. I think coming into this position, I expected some of the challenges that I've faced so far, and have been working to overcome. And I think we're on the right path moving forward. And I appreciate all of the support that all of you have provided me so far and provided to the department.
Fred, just to go along with that, I can honestly, truthfully say, and I've said this to Ethan already, that the times that I've gone into that fire company station, I've now been met with respect, greetings, where before morale down there was horrible. And that is not the case anymore, and I'm hearing this from a lot of people. So I think morale has turned around down there. They know that we are working as hard as we can to get what they need to do the job that they're doing. So I like the way things are going. Good job so far.
Thank
In your short time.
you. Thanks.
Okay, anybody have anything else? If not, entertain a motion to adjourn. We are adjourned. The people who live here are some people that have done it.